Snackers, hey, what's up? Pretzels here. Alright. Dateline, Thursday, December 21st, 2017. This is Pretzels+Prints+Repeat. Alright, so that went about the opposite of the way I thought it would. The Patreon thing imploded, and the FCC thing went through. Did I say about the opposite? No, that's honestly the exact opposite of how I thought that it would go down. Patreon being an official supporter of net neutrality, though, it would make sense that they're listening to public opinion where the FCC is not. As to why the FCC didn't listen to public opinion, well, I don't know. Politicians are. They just are. So net neutrality is dead. And I actually don't mind this. It seems too abstract right now, and no company, I think, wants to be that company, the first to start jacking with the flow of the internet now that so many people have come down so hard against it. They'll be boycotted to the moon, probably. Okay, it's been a full week since the FCC ruling, and it's still going to be another couple weeks before the changes officially take place. The only news we've heard so far after it has either been hypothetical or FCC-wise. FCC members getting clocked with clocks and hit with death threats and stuff. That's not cool. Yeah, whoever did that, you must be Ilya Kuryakin, because you're just the man from Uncool. I'm so sorry. And in this week's news, there's a lot going on, and there's no possible way I'm going to be able to comment on everything. It's kind of overwhelming. Hollywood and America, by extension, I don't know, is having a crisis of rape culture. North Korea is committing war crimes against their citizens, among a bunch of other stuff. The power is still down in Puerto Rico, as far as I know. The Washington Post lied about... according to the Washington Post, the government lied excuse me. Okay, everyone, I'm back. The Washington Post lied. Maybe. Everyone's got an agenda. That's what you gotta... You, me, them, the Coen brothers, everyone. I talked about the news last week about net neutrality and Patreon fee changes because they were important to me. That's my agenda. Maybe I won't be able to comment on everything, but maybe that fact out of all issues is what I'll be able to tackle this week. Monday morning, there was an Amtrak derailment at frigging Christmas, and people are dead. And that just blows, no matter who you are. And there's a certain person in a certain political position who's using a certain social media site to use this tragedy to advance a political agenda, in this case an infrastructure project. I guess that makes sense. And he's gotten a lot of flack for it, as he usually gets. Politicization of tragedy, using tragedy to advance a political agenda, is as old as tragedy itself. The application of politicization is what's important. How tactful you are about it. And this person being tactless is nothing new, it's all white noise. And so the flack this person is constantly getting, I don't think is such a good thing. I said that I won't be able to tackle everything, and I guess we're starting with what issues I will not skirt around, but I mean, everyone's got an opinion on this person. I don't like being mean to people, but gosh darn it, he just made me say I don't like being mean to people. There's power, and we have to be aware of this power. There's a reason I'm avoiding this person's name, though we all know what and whom I'm talking about. I generally refer to him as the sock puppet, something entirely non-indicative, and even then I don't like mentioning him unless the political discussion is absolutely necessary. Oh, hello. Yeah. I can pinpoint exactly when it was that I realized that news reports trying to tear down the sock puppet were actually achieving the opposite of their intent. Early September 2015, the 4th and 5th of that month specifically, the sock puppet had been commanding the media all summer, and right when it seemed to me like the media was finally beginning to ignore him, he drove the spotlight back onto himself, using that aforementioned social media site to make some vaccine autism connection, which everyone in their right minds attacked, but in retrospect maybe they shouldn't have, because, hey, spotlight again. I realized then that was advertently or not his strategy. Stay in the spotlight, make everything about him. Make everything a reaction to him, keep all publicity, good and bad, on him. Attacking him wasn't the worst thing that could have happened to the sock puppet. Attacking him only made him stronger. The worst thing that we can do to the sock puppet is ignore him entirely, and so with an awareness of this power, I don't use his name. It's one small measure. Because we have the ability to give power to puppets or not. So the sock puppet has every right to be concerned about fake news, like he so famously is, because it's false news, the opposite thing, that led to his current place in politics. False and fake are not the same thing. Real and true are not the same thing. There is power in that difference. So what is that difference? Okay. Award-winning YA writer Martine Leavitt writes in her novel Calvin, I've figured out there's a difference between meaning of the word real and the word true. Reality is all the stuff that won't go away, like school and gravity, no matter how much you wish it would. It's the ceiling your imagination bumps up against. People with my condition just keep floating on up, as if there weren't any ceiling, with every so often a few hard falls and then more floating. But true doesn't float, it just is. There's a distinction between real and true. In the novel, it applies to schizophrenic hallucinations, but for my purposes, with applications I want to talk about, my goals as a YouTuber, my goals with PPR, and real and true mean this. I made a list of my top favorite YouTubers, just a small handful, and breaking it down, they're 50% doing Let's Plays and reaction vids, 50% doing video essays on filmmaking, but it's not the form that drives me to love these people, it's their humanity. Going through my video watch history, there's a complete nutter critter from the YouTube trending list. Not what people want to see, but what I want to see. And with my liked videos, the difference is even more potent. Trending videos, the latest film trailer, a celebrity reaction, or talk show viral video, or splashily designed lifestyle guide, these things, it's all false news. They're real, but they're not true. It's all designed not to stick with you, maybe. Planned obsolescence to get you onto the next thing, ephemera that can afford to be ephemeral because it's all just ground out of a machine like sausage. It's part of the system, white noise again. False news is always white noise. But the stuff that stays with us isn't designed to get views, it's crafted to be viewed. They're not even mutually exclusive. You can be true and popular. Odd Ones Out, James animates and talks about his life and childhood and does it in an entertaining way, and he feels true. Rhett and Link have always been corporate, but they're genuine best friends with genuine chemistry, and they're a pleasure to watch interacting. Some other third example, the Super Carlin Brothers. And these people feel like our friends, because they talk about stuff they get passionate about. They open themselves up. Pretzels+Prints+Repeat, the first episode a week ago, was about something I cared about. It was never about just news. But news does seem like something that needs to be discussed. News is worth getting passionate about. The form of these videos, Let's Plays, reactions, whatever, the forms are real, but the reality is just a medium to deliver truth. News, current events, ephemera is fleeting but is important, and you can have both. It's the truth that sticks with you. Maybe you're going to see a video game that looks fun. That sticks with you. You know, you go out and get that video game because it was on a Let's Play. Or maybe you'll learn about a tax thing. I don't know what makes the news. But a tax thing that impacts our lives as well. Current events, that sticks with us. That becomes part of our lives. Not being white noise, being real but also true. There's no great secret to it. Be the change you wish to see in the world, a paraphrase of Mahatma Gandhi quote, which I'm posting up here. It's so true that it's become cliche, which is actually pretty neat. If there's a book that you wish you could read, you're going to have to write that book yourself, is another way of looking at it. So that's what I'm trying to do. Creating the content that I want to see, that isn't being made from what I can see. The Vlog Brothers are real and true. And not about Let's Plays or pop culture conspiracy theories or video essays, but current events and all. But there's still room. If there's room for a full 50%, i.e. more than one of my favorite YouTubers to do filmmaking essays, there's room to do what you're passionate about even if it's a shared interest with a lot of other people. Just do it in a way that only you can. It's what I'm trying to do. We need not wait to see what others do. There's so many gaps and niches that can be filled, especially when everyone else is just doing what sells, what's worked in the past, what everyone else is doing, when everyone else is making more white noise. It actually makes it easier for us. And so that's what I meant when I said, this is something only I could do. Or, I try. Good convo. Maybe next week I'll talk about Disney stuff. That seems to be in the news. Probably even Star Wars stuff. Nobody else is talking about that.